That's on the agenda. Okay, we're on.
Which number?
The number that's on the agenda, the 571. Okay. All right. That's good because I think the cell phones cause interference.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
we're live.
Is he in?
I think so.
Okay. So if we're all here, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Nina, could you please do the roll call?
Mayor Lynch,
Here.
Member Finley,
Here.
Member Lewis,
Here.
Member Sonity. Maybe.
Hello?
Steve,
Yes, I'm here.
Member Williams.
Here.
Did you get member Lewis?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
So we have,
Z's starting the pledge.
we want to do the pledge?
Z's gonna,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, playing it, or I was just gonna say it.
We're back.
We're back?
Yes.
Okay, we have the
Okay.
minutes. We have the minutes of the previous meeting. Did everybody get a chance to look at those?
Yes.
Yes,
We actually have 2 minutes, 2 meetings minutes. Is that correct, Mayor?
I'm just seeing on my agenda minutes of the previous meeting, so we have 2 sets of minutes.
Yes, from
Okay.
March 10th and
Yeah.
24th.
Let's do them separately. So I need a motion to approve the first set of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve March 10th Board of Works regular meeting minutes.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes?
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes,
Member Williams.
Yes.
We
And
need a
then we have, you go ahead, Mayor.
No, go ahead, Scott.
We have minutes from our March 24th meeting, which was the first meeting we did virtually, where we basically just approved the claims. I make a motion to approve those minutes from March 24th.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, Nina, call the roll, please.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes?
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
We do not have any old business. Under new business, we have a request to release maintenance bond for Cardinal Crossings phases 1, 2, and 3. Is someone on, is AJ on to discuss that?
I am on, but I'm going to defer to Sandy.
Okay,
Good morning. We
Good morning.
received a request from the developer of Cardinal Crossing to release their maintenance bond for the phases 1, 2, and 3 of the development. Our department has performed an inspection of the streets and curbs, and everything appears to be fine. We are still waiting on other departments to inspect other infrastructures, so I would request that this be tabled until the next meeting.
do we have a motion to table?
I'll make a motion
I
to
make
table. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
Go ahead, that's all right. Go ahead.
Make a motion to table the release of the maintenance bond for Cardinal Crossing Phase 1, 2, and 3, based upon Mrs. Kolb's recommendation that the inspections for those phases are not entirely complete. And we will table it to our next meeting.
And that meeting will be on the 28th, Scott.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes?
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
So we have item B, NDOT project coordination contract approvals. AJ?
Again, I'll defer to Sandy on these.
Okay,
Our first NDOT LTA contract is for our Willow Creek Road project between Central Avenue and the Indiana Toll Road. This is just an amendment to an existing contract that was already approved by the Board of Works. The purpose for the amendment is revised dates, terms to the schedule of the project. Obviously, this project has been in the books for quite some time, and NDOT is just needing to revise the dates within the document. So it is a contract that we've already approved. It's just the date revision that needs to be approved.
do we have a motion to revise the date for the NDOT contract?
I make a motion to delay, to change the date on the project.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any further discussion on this?
So just quickly, Sandy, so has this changed the date in which the project is to be completed?
No, it does not change that. So we are hoping to start the project May 1st and get that underway and be completed before, anticipation of school starting in the fall, if that happens. The only thing that is being changed is that the previous NDOT contract had different dates within it. On the first page, it says term and schedule. It says July 2020 to June 2021. Those dates have changed. They have been updated to these more current dates that actually fit the construction schedule.
Okay. So just to clarify, this is the project that is on the east side of the middle school from Willow Creek north to the toll road, correct?
Correct. It is the project that will eliminate the intersection of Evergreen and Willow Creek Road. It will install a traffic signal at the realigned intersection of Willow Creek Road, the middle school, and the shopping center on East.
Very, very good. Thank you.
Nina, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sanity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
Sandy, is that all you have on the NDOT project to discuss?
No, we actually have another project. It's our typical NDOT LPA agreement for our Central Avenue West project. We have had this project on the books for quite some time, and we have been looking to get it started, get something done on it, whether it's just a resurfacing project. We have the money, and we need to get working on some aspect of it.
Sandy, can you just summarize, please, for us, what in the big picture, what section of Central Avenue this involves and the type of improvements we're looking to do?
Well, it's still a little fuzzy at this time, but it is the entire corridor from Willow Creek Road to County Line Road of Central Avenue. We need to work with our consultants to actually determine what is going to be the first phase and what is going to be the best benefit to the city of Portage. So there's still a lot of what ifs out there as to what we want to have accomplished in this project. But like I said, the funds have been sitting out there since 2009, and we're starting to get a pushback that we need to spend these or we're going to lose them.
Okay. Has the state given, is this federal and state money?
Actually, we have demonstration funds from the Congressman's office, and we also have federal aid funds.
Okay. So have they indicated any dates that we have to get this project going by, or have they been specific on when the funds have to be spent?
They have not been specific, though the contract in front of you does read that July 2020 and between July 2020 and June of 2024 is when they expect the project to be constructed.
Okay.
What part of these costs do we share?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are there parts of this that we pay the cost for? What's our share?
Yes, it's an 80-20. So the federal government share is 80, our share is 20.
Do we know the cost of the project at all, Sandy, to kind of determine if we have those funds?
Well, it's hard to say because last administration had a certain vision, and yet we haven't determined what we want phase one to be and what we want it to entail, whether it's a complete reconstruction or if it's just a resurfacing project. So we have yet to decide where phase one is, what we want it to entail, and we don't have a cost estimate on it.
So once it is decided or recommended what phase one will be, will the board then review that phase one, either make some recommendations, approve it as presented? Will we know what our dollar commitment is for that phase one?
Yes, of course. Once this administration determines what phase one is and what we want it to entail, there will be an estimate put towards it. And obviously we can work within the budget of what we currently have in federal funding.
Okay. So at this point, we just need to get this project started, and that will require us to approve the LPA as presented here today, correct?
Correct. This is, like I said, we were awarded the funding in 2009. We have been working on the project. We have just never signed the INDOT's LPA agreements. So it's just one more step in the process that needs to be done.
And if I could, this is AJ. If I could, there was a question raised earlier by a member as related to the grant program, and Sandy articulated that it's an 80-20 program, 80% received federally and 20% locally. You know, that I think that's an accurate assessment at face value. However, there are a number of other costs associated with the project that does change that formula of 80-20. And so as we make our way through deciding what this project is going to look like, I think a consideration is to think through what will the true costs to the city of Portage be as it relates to the identified project. As Sandy mentioned, this project dates back to 2009. It received demonstration dollars. This project is 30% design complete with an environmental. And then subsequently, there's been a series of actions taken by the city of Portage in terms of land acquisition, so on and so forth, to move this project forward. However, if we are to learn from our past experience on the Central Avenue East project, the project that went from Hamstrom Road to Airport and just past Airport, that while that project was in a federal aid program with the percentages of 80-20, that the project, when all said and done, did not pan out to be an 80-20 project. I believe that the city of Portage, Sandy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that we could contend based on monies that have been spent by the city of Portage that project ended up being about a 54-46 percentage project, with the federal share being over 50% and the city of Portage is just being under 50%. And that has in large part to do with land acquisition and the acquisition of right-of-way. So there are a number of factors that need to go into this decision for the city of Portage going forward, and why you sense a lot of reluctance in Sandy's response and my response in terms of what a project really looks like for Central Avenue West. It is because these are all the considerations that we're putting into the decision in terms of making a recommendation to the city. So I apologize for the long-winded response there, but I felt it important to add some additional clarity to what it is we're being asked to do as a department and the city of Portage.
Thank you, AJ.
Yeah, thank you, AJ. Appreciate that.
I do have a question, AJ. Again, thank you for the clarification, and that's important information to know that our percentage commitment can change. Is this something that we're very likely to know after phase one, how that percentage sharing of cost percentage may change?
Once it's determined, so a factor in even determining what phase one looks like will be a consideration of what needs to be acquired in terms of right-of-way. It could come to pass that the project is reduced in its scope. As Sandy's mentioned, this could be a complete reconstruction to a resurface. But part of our consideration in determining what phase one of this project looks like, and in all likelihood, phase one of the project will be from Central Avenue West, in front of both Willow Creek and Middle School and Ellsworth, and continuing some point further west, will be a consideration of what needs to be acquired from right-of-way. Right now, Sandy and I continue to work with our federal partners to identify how we can use these federal funds for right-of-way acquisition versus the city of Portage having to take full responsibility for land acquisition. Again, there are so many moving parts right now to this that this authorization that we're seeking today allows the city, Sandy and I, to move forward, and others with in terms of thinking about what a phase one project looks like. We will. It is our every intention at the end of this, prior to giving any recommendation to whether it's the Board of Works, the Redevelopment Commission, who often gets tagged as the local sponsor, to be able to the best of our ability, articulate the true costs associated with whatever this Central Avenue West Phase project is determined to be.
AJ? AJ? AJ?
Yes.
This is Steve Sonity. I have a question, because originally that project was including in sewers and curbs and sidewalks, and a roundabout was added later. So what are we looking at? We're just looking at repaving it, or are we looking into the complete action?
The project, as originally constituted, included a complete reconstruction of Central Avenue from Willow Creek Road to the limits of the improvement that was made at County Line and Central Avenue a number of years ago. That project included curbs, sanitary, storm. It included a roundabout at Willowdale and Central Avenue. It included intersection modifications at Swanson. It included a new bridge over Willow Creek proper. It included any number of things, Steve. You are correct in that. That project had a very hefty price tag. The later versions have modified plans to show a recreational trail along the south side of Central Avenue, and other modifications to the plans. I currently do not. I don't know if there's been a redesign of Willow Creek and Willowdale and Central Avenue to replace the roundabout with a more traditional intersection. Again, those documents were prepared about a decade ago. In terms of the latest phase, in terms of how we're going to proceed, Steve, and again, this is a good question, it really comes down to the financial capacity of the city of Portage. Again, we can assume that it's 80-20, but I think when we look at the true costs associated with the project, our goal is 80-20, and we should expect that it's going to be something else. And that something else is really determined as we work through what does a phase one and subsequent phases of the Central Avenue West project look like.
Okay, thank you.
So let's move forward with a vote on allowing Sandy and AJ to move forward with this project. We have a long way to go to get to the end of it, but I think we do need to get a start. We certainly wouldn't want to lose our federal funding because we didn't get moving on it.
All right, I make a motion
I
that
make a-
we, go ahead, Steve. It's your turn.
No, go ahead.
No, fine. You got it, buddy.
No, it's always delayed, and I think nobody's speaking, that's why I'm speaking.
Yeah, no, go right ahead. Please.
I make a motion that we allow Sandra and AJ to go along and forward with this project and see where we are at on the first phase of it.
So we're making a motion to approve the local public agency contract. I don't know, I'm sure it has a number on it. Is that 20-205? I think the Central Avenue West project from Willow Creek to County Line Road. So I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Nina, please call the roll.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
We have the approval of the streetlight agreement for Sterling Creek Park Estates Phase 2. Andy or AJ?
Yes, this is our standard streetlight agreement. The locations were determined by our department, and there are 3 proposed streetlights within Phase 2 of this development. We recommend that
Sandy.
you approve this agreement.
Sandy, I have a quick question for you because we did a few years back do a streetlight survey and we found that we had approved several streetlights. And then in checking, we were paying for those, but the streetlights were never there. Are we not going to let that happen here?
I don't recall what you're referring to. When it comes to developments in a new subdivision, the developer contacts NIPSCO, has them actually install the lights, and the developer pays for the first 2 years of power and all of the installation of the lights. So it's a different situation than when a council person requests a street light be installed. It's all on the developer's dime to actually install it and pay for the power for the 2 years, and then we just take it over after that, and that's just the maintenance of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Sandy.
Excuse me, Sandy?
Yes.
Sandy? Is
Yes.
that a standard 2-year on any new development area? A 2-year that the
Yes.
developer pays? Okay, I just wanted to make
Yes,
sure.
yes, it is standard.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Did we make a motion yet?
No.
Oh, I'm
I think-
sorry.
Right.
Sorry, skipping over. Shauna, were you making the motion?
I will make the motion to move forward on the streetlight agreement for Sterling Creek Estates, Phase 2.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Nina, please call the roll.
Mayor Lynch.
Yes.
Member Finley.
Yes.
Member Lewis.
Yes.
Member Sonity.
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
Item D, we have the approval to seek bids for the 2020 paving contracts. AJ, you want to tell us that?
Sandy, are you still there?
I am still here.
Sorry, Sandy.
No, that's fine. We, if y'all weren't aware, we did receive $1 million for our Community Crossing Matching Grant application. And because we received the $1 million, it's a 50-50 grant. We have to put up another $1 million. So we are looking to actually prepare a bid, our paving project for the year for right around $2 million. And obviously, we need your permission to go out to bids for this project.
And if I could, Sandy, the projects that were articulated in our Community Crossings Matching Grant application back in February included what roads?
Dombey Road from Clem to US 20, Boulder from Oakwood to Hickory, Dombey from Central to the CSX tracks. And sorry, I'm actually just looking at our spreadsheet right now. I believe that was it.
In Swanson.
Oh, Swanson. I apologize. From 6 to 700.
And where do these projects fall in terms of the original priority study that was done? And it was also required, as I understand, for the Community Crossings Matching Grant Program. So are we following that list of priorities, and these are the next roads within that priority list that need to be done? Or that's my question. Are we following the priority list, and are these the next roads that are recommended to be done based upon the severity of the road damage?
Yes, we are following last year's PACER rating. Every year I go out to evaluate all of the streets in Portage. We are still using last year's rating, and we are using are resurfacing the streets, reconstructing the streets that are in the worst shape in the city of Portage.
Okay,
Sandy,
that was my
are
concern that I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
Sandy, are these just pavings? They're not gonna end up like a fallen timbers mess where we get in there and we find out there's other problems?
No, none of these projects will end up like fallen timbers. They will be, a handful of them will be a reconstruction project, but these roads don't have curbs or infrastructure similar to fallen timbers that requires, engineer's design. What we will be doing is milling out the asphalt and soil stabilizing the soil underneath the asphalt and replacing the asphalt. So it'll be a similar project to Samuelson Road when we did that, but it will not be the mess that fallen timbers turned into.
Okay, thank you.
Sandy, I was taking notes, and on the first Dombey project that you mentioned, what is the start and end location for that?
Sure, my apologies. It is Dombey Road from Central to the CSX tracks,
I
and
got
then
that
it is
one.
Dombey Road from Clem to the toll road.
Okay, and then Boulder again, could you tell us?
And then I apologize to cut you off. We also have Clem on Dombey Road, Clem to US 20. So there was a section that was rebuilt under stormwater projects last year or the year before, I don't recall. And basically we will be resurfacing all of Dombey except for that portion.
Okay, and Boulder? The
Boulder
Boulder?
is from Oakwood to Hickory.
Okay. Thank you. I
And
couldn't
that's-
write,
Scott,
I couldn't write that
Scott, did you get 600 to 700 for
for
Swanson?
Swanson. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so then the question does become identifying so this this is about a $2 million project then for these roads you've identified, right, Sandy?
Correct.
Okay. Yep.
So-
So
See, that will-
go ahead.
that will be all of our paving money for the year then?
I don't know how to answer that question.
I don't
Well-
think any,
Ask it.
Do we have any other paving funds other than the $2 million? The 1 million from us and the 1 million from Community Crossings?
If I could, and Nina may be able to jump here to help out further. The city monthly receives a disbursement from the wheel tax. There are two accounts where those monies are paid in. The decision by making an application to Community Crossings for $1 million was in anticipation that the balances of those wheel tax accounts would be in excess of $1 million, so that the city of Portage could match the grant application that it was submitting to the state of Indiana. So those accounts are always accumulating proceeds, Mayor. I guess as a consideration, I would always want to make this a point that because the Community Crossings is a matching program at 1-to-1, that any time the city of Portage would make a decision to spend wheel tax dollars that isn't matched by Community Crossings, that you are losing the buying power of that dollar because you're not receiving that match from the state level. So I would just keep that in mind as we think about how we're using wheel tax dollars and the community crossings matching grant. And then the only other paving that we're then able to pursue, unless something changes at the city level, are the grants that we continue to go after and look to the redevelopment commission as a local sponsor to those projects, which requires us to be very creative. As you all know, that the redevelopment commission can only match in certain locations in the city. And it does make it difficult as we go forward. So again, I guess everybody's so that I guess that would be my comment as it relates to these matters. Sandy did not mention, but she is in the process of updating that Payzer list. We do update that report annually, so there will be an update to that. But I guess I would just leave with the importance and as a reminder that those wheel tax dollars that we receive from those people in our community who are paying that tax, that it's best used when it can be matched by the Community Crossings program.
Great, thank you, AJ. So we need an approval to seek bids for the 2020 paving projects. Does someone want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the bid, seeking bids for the 2020 paving project.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Nina, could you please call the roll?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley, sorry.
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
Item E, we have a bulk item fee appeal. Randy, are you online?
I don't think he is.
Does anybody have any comment about that?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Everybody does.
Anybody go first? I'll wait.
One at a time, please.
Go ahead, Steve.
All right. I'm kind of concerned that this issue is going to be brought up every month with somebody, and I'm going to tell you I am kind of sick and tired of these people saying they're ill-informed, because I know as a matter of fact, Mary, that works in the clerk treasurer's office under the old water rec board or side of it, instructs and gives them a paper of everything about your pickup, bulk pickup, you know, anything else extra, and then these people keep doing this, and then they want to get away with it. And I'm kind of, you know, this guy states that he never wasn't aware of the first of the month bulk. Now, I mean, all his neighbors have to throw out big stuff on the week. You know, he has to know that. I think we should approve the $25 fee assessment. Because also, oh, this was 210. Okay, I see his appeal was 331. I was going to officially say that was when under our quarantine act, where we're just picking up garbage and nothing on the sides or outside the containers or bulk items. But I see that one was in February. But still, I'm kind of, you know, not happy with these people that keep using that as an excuse. Anybody else have anything to say?
Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, my concern was we do keep having to deal with this. And I don't think we're ever going to get any other answer from somebody than I wasn't aware. So I don't know. I guess on one hand, we just either be very, I hate the word rigid, but you know, this is the rule and we live by the rule. Or if there's any way around it, is there any way that if there's bulk stuff out there, could the truck just put something out that says we only pick this up on the first pickup of the month? I don't, it seems like a lot of work just for one or two people who can't follow the rules, but I'm with Steve. I think we're going to hear this every single month.
Well, the
I don't
other
know.
option they have is they can take it to the street department, Monday through
From
Friday.
7?
From 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. I know a lot of people that load up that stuff and take it down to the street department themselves, I being one of them. So
Okay.
rather than trash the city and let it sitting out there, because I drove through the city the other day and there's stuff laying out on the curb, and we have to have a cutoff here. We can't keep allowing that. We have announced it. We keep saying it every time I do an all call or a video. Everybody gets instructions when they get their toter, but we aren't getting that point across.
I guess my only comment would be, I think this was a new homeowner. I
That's
don't know the
Yeah.
first time that they moved into the community. I was thinking about this. If I was in that situation, what would I do? Without, not knowing exactly what the procedures and steps are. Probably had a lot on my mind, just moved in the house. I'll put those items to the curb. If they don't get picked up, then I'll figure out how to dispose of them. I sort of think that was their line of thinking. I don't know if that's, an excuse, an acceptable excuse, but I'm be a little compassionate here under those circumstances.
Is this Scott?
As a new resident.
Scott? Is this
Yeah.
Scott speaking?
Yes, it is.
Scott, I know for sure that Mary gives them a form, a paper and everything when they sign up for the stormwater and garbage pickup and sewer bill in the clerk's office there. I just don't understand, all of a sudden nobody can understand. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up right now. I went down Hamstrom and Fallen Timbers, and a guy has a 4-foot pile of old carpet and padding sitting on his easement there on the curb. And after, like I'm saying, you listen to the mayor. Mayor has robocalled. She went on Facebook with her plan for the city during this crisis. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of giving people second and third chances on this, curbside, thing. Well, anyway, that's my point. I don't know. I'm just kind of particular about it.
It's a good Well, I'm excited to say this, and I am partial to what's happening.
Thing is,
I was
it's
partial
a
to what
buzzing.
Dan,
I also wanted to add in there that is there a way for us to do more messaging of this? Because I am a firm believer of over communicating of what you want to get across, especially when people want to save money in a crisis that people are in right now. So I'm not sure if there's another opportunity. We cannot assume everyone has access to Facebook. So that's a bad assumption. We can't assume everybody's getting Mayor Lynch's messages. Is there a way for us to maybe include something? Everyone that's a homeowner gets utility bill. And the Portage Utility Services Board.
Hold on. Excuse me. Okay, all I was getting is a buzzing.
I don't know what that is.
My mic's doing what? Is my mic causing trouble?
Yes, we can't hear each other, Dan.
That's weird. All right, I'm gonna mute again then.
Okay, yeah, it was Dan.
Now I can hear you, Shauna.
Okay, I was just saying that is there a way, an opportunity for us to over communicate this and put it like on our Portage, our utility bills? Every month you get those, and just make that a message that you're going to have on there, unless there's another priority that comes up. So then that way you can then do the accountability piece, because everyone's going to get their utilities board, services board utility bill, their sanitation. So I'm wondering, is there a way for us to over message? As I previously stated, we can't assume that everyone's on Facebook. We can't make some other assumptions that they are getting the messages. Folks change phone numbers like crazy nowadays because we're so transient. So I would just say that if there's an opportunity for us to communicate this more and all the time, let's do it. So then we can then hold folks accountable to say, no, you get this in your utility services bill every month.
Right.
Shauna? But they are informed on this when they become when they sign up for the utilities. when they get their toters and their, you know, their garbage can and their recycling bin, and all the instructions and their garbage day and the bulk day, you know, week of the first month. And then if you follow, if they would just listen right now and see that we're not picking up bulk items for the safety of our sanitation workers during this COVID-19. Okay, well, you guys decide, and I'll see what, you know, how, but it was fined $25 for this, and I don't know, how long has this guy lived here? He said he just moved in. When he,
They moved in
What?
when, Dina?
June of 2018.
Oh,
I just pulled it up.
oh, they're not new.
They aren't new then.
Oh.
They've been-
They said it was their first home. So they're
Yeah,
not
this may be a new home for them, but they're not necessarily a new resident.
right.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. But
Yeah.
I am a firm believer of
Okay.
the open communicating. So if there's an opportunity there, let's do it.
Nina,
you
is
know,
there
I mean,
a sanitary
common
bill?
sense tells,
I'm sorry, what, Sue?
Nina, is there a way to put this in a sanitary bill?
Yeah,
Is
we
there-
can put messages on there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good suggestion, Shauna. I think that'll help. You know, you can't force people to
Yeah.
read things. All you can do is communicate what the policies and rules are.
Right.
Yeah, and your point is well taken, Steve. I understand. You know, these people do get the information. You can't hold a gun to their head and force them to read it, you know.
well, what I'm just trying to say is if you move into a house, you call who your NIPSCO, you call your water company, you call your city for the city utilities, and you know all the information. I mean, ignorance is not an excuse for, you know, doing wrong, you know?
Okay, I
And
think we've discussed that enough. I think we need to have a motion of whether we're going to, what we're going to do with the appeal. Are we going to deny the appeal, or would someone like to make a motion?
I make a motion to, wait a minute. Wait a minute, go ahead. I'm thinking something else.
I make a
Anybody?
motion that we deny the appeal and we assess the $25 fine.
I agree with that.
Okay, okay. Did you second it, Shauna?
Yeah, I'm seconding. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, I said I agree. I should have said I second.
We
Oh,
have a-
I heard you and I didn't know.
We have a
Okay.
motion and a second to deny the appeal. Nina, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes,
Dan, we have major illness claims. Have you gotten a chance to review them?
I have gone through a pretty good chunk, and I don't know how many you have there in front of you, Nina. You can probably. There was none that I denied.
Yeah, there's 6 here.
Yeah, those are all approved.
Okay. So we will need a motion to approve the major illness claims.
I will make a motion to approve the major illness claims.
I will
I
second it.
second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the major illness claims. Nina, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
yes.
Okay, now we have the claims. Has everybody gotten a chance to look at the claims? I know there were questions that were sent to Nina. Were those satisfactorily answered? Are there other questions?
I have a question about the loans to the fire and the police pension. I think
It's
you're
just
on
cash flow.
the 4th page.
It's
So are
just
those-
cash flow and some repayments. Cash flow and repayments of temp loans. That be
Okay,
paid
so-
by a certain time.
Okay.
Okay. Member Shauna brought up the overtime. You said that was answered? That question?
There were 3 payrolls posted on this docket.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the
Why
reason,
are we paying any kind of overtime right now? I mean,
some of it's in the union contracts.
Okay.
I can add to that, Mr. Sonity. I know with the fire department, because of the Kelly system, meaning the firefighters work 24 on and then 48 off, as part of the fire department's budget, we are forced to go into some overtime situation, simply because of the firefighters' type of schedule. But it's my understanding, as I recall, as we developed that budget, we factored in that type of overtime.
okay.
So, but when it comes, I guess, let's talk about streets, for example, MVH. We had a real mild winter. We shouldn't have incurred a lot of overtime in respect to inclement weather and plowing streets. And I think we only had a couple situations, maybe 2, in which we actually had to do some serious plowing. And that's worked in our favor. I've actually requested, and we're going to get it here, overtime to date for streets. Nina's going to put that together and see how that compares to other years where we've had some more serious winters. I mean, I don't know on police. Obviously, we only have so many police officers. We need to maintain so many police officers on the road. I'm sure that that results in some overtime in the police department. I think it's going to require some analysis, further analysis of where this overtime is coming from. I have confidence in our department heads. It's not just arbitrary overtime. It's overtime that is justified. But and I think Nina hit the nail on the head. We've got 3 payrolls here that we're approving, so that's contributing to a lot of the overtime. But in the same token, the same vein, we need to make sure it's justified.
Okay.
That helps. Thank you so much, Scott and Steve, for bringing it up. Appreciate it.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go
Oh,
ahead.
I just had a question for Nina. Nina?
Huh?
I thought I saw something overtime for the clerk treasurer's office. What would that be
For
for?
3 payrolls, it totaled just around $700. My staff was informed that I don't have the money in my budget for anyone to work overtime. So
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, I have some ideas on the whole thing to save money, but I'll bring that up to another committee. Okay, thank you.
I do have a
Nina,
question on page 13.
Okay.
Governmental inter-insurance exchange. That's page 13, the 3rd item. What is that? The 3rd item down on page 13, governmental.
that's an insurance company. When we have a threshold for insurance,
Mhm.
so they'll pay out a certain amount, and then we have to pay a portion also.
What type of insurance is that? What kind
Yeah.
of coverage?
It's-
Liability?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
On that
Nina,
same,
I have a question on the.
I don't have any other questions.
On page 19, Nina, the city hall telephone. I guess I don't understand why that's so high. I mean, we're not even there. We barely use the phone. Can we get a breakout on those?
Well, it doesn't. I don't think anyone charges for long distance or usage for regular telephone. It's just It's just a flat rate. It's for all of the phone systems throughout the city
Okay.
through the Comcast Business Essentials package.
I just thought it was a little high.
Oh, it is.
And that brings up a good point. At some time in the near future, and maybe at our next meeting, we really, we need to look at, and revisit, the copier and telephone contracts. I know that our thinking was that we would try to keep this under one provider. We've already, have approved contract, with Proven. I think we need to make this a priority at our next meeting. Make sure the board has what was the last proposal we got from, Proven on a copy, because as I recall, we were looking at a savings of around $7,000 a month. And it was actually a better deal because it included toner, loaners, maintenance. It would bring all of our copiers, brand new copiers, under one contract. We wouldn't have multiple providers. And, you know, $7,000 a month to start realizing that type of savings is significant. So I think we need to make that a priority at our next Board of Works meetings.
Scott, I think Dan is looking into that for us. There are other reasons that we may not be able to move on that immediately, but Dan is checking that out for us.
I will say that my contract for my copy machines are up the 22nd of this month. I can probably get it extended to the next Board of Works meeting in good faith, but mine are up for a refresh.
Oh, wow.
Copy machines are with Proven already, right, Nina?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
So-
you know, you term out and then you either got to buy it or they're going to come get it. And there was a really crappy contract that was entered into to start with. It was no colored copies were included, no maintenance agreement was included, and only 500 black and white copies a month. We could do that in a day.
Right. The clerk treasurer's office, no doubt.
Well, why don't you see if you could get that extended? But I would hope, Mayor, that we could make this a priority for our next Board of Works meeting and have some serious discussions on what we're going to do with copiers and phones.
I agree. We'll get Dan to get us some kind of an answer.
Okay,
I'm on it.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Whitten.
Jamie was trying to say something.
Yeah, so I have one question. On the docket, there was a couple of council travel. Have we kind of frozen any kind of travel until, not just the virus, until we have a better handle on our income?
I believe, Jamie, that was in January when Colin went to the cities and towns in Washington, D.C. That was, he booked that way back at the end of last year, way
I'm not
before the
questioning this,
virus.
but I'm
And
just
the
saying going
council
forward.
has a travel budget. And that was coming out of the council travel budget. And that was approved by the council president. But that, like I said, that was way back toward the end of the year when he booked that, before the COVID virus. So I don't think any of the council is doing any traveling right now. You could check with Scott.
No, Jamie, that's a good point. Obvious, this is for health reasons. This is not a time to travel, but even for budgetary purposes, there's other ways to gain knowledge. We don't have to send people to conferences or attend workshops, and you know, we do have a budget for those types of things, but that doesn't mean we have to spend the money. And you know, I'll obviously monitor that very closely. If we get any requests, unless it's an absolute necessity that that's the only way we can get the information, then I would, you know, I probably would deny any request for travel.
I guess the same thing with
I just want to,
when we had the fire truck fixed, that module, that was pretty expensive. I know there's some things that we can delay and some things we can't, but the department heads, I'm just afraid we're going to have a cash crunch at the end of this year.
Yep.
The tax rolls are really going to get hit. sales taxes. use
I would
tax.
ask the mayor, you know, when she has her meetings with the department heads, that they maybe look at things that we can be put on hold. You know, obviously we have to keep police cars on the road and fire trucks and ambulances. You know, I would hate to see that, well, we can't make an ambulance call because the ambulance broke down. You know, we can't have those types of situations. But no, it's, you know, it's a fine line that we're walking, Mr. Lewis, in terms of, you know, where can we cut? Can we cut? You know, it's just, it's an ongoing moving target. But yes, we need to, you know, do our due diligence and make sure that we're only spending money that we absolutely have to.
Like I said, my concern is as much as us spending is what our income's gonna be.
Yes.
You know, if it
Yes.
was just
We don't know
property-
what's going to happen with property tax, you know, payments are due May 11th. Are we gonna, are they gonna pay? Are they gonna delay? Are they, you know, I don't know, you know, and that's gonna have a big effect on our revenue.
And don't we have labor contracts coming up? Do we?
With that,
Except fire.
yeah,
Yes, go ahead, Dan.
I was going to, he asked for the labor contracts, and yes, we're in the midst of negotiating those now as we speak. But ironically, I've started and finished every bargaining session with how broke we are. That point is not lost upon anybody that has any understanding of numbers. So yeah, that's just another piece of the puzzle that we're having to deal with.
Can you mute your mic, please? If there are no further questions, I will ask for a motion to approve, and I'm going to read this number so that the public understands our expenses. This Board of Works agenda claims are for $594,401.
no. It's
No.
5 million.
On the wrong page?
Yeah, we're definitely in the 5 million.
I said 500.
5 million.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Move 5 million.
500,000. We were doing something there, Mayor Lynch.
Okay, I'm sorry. My paper smeared there and I couldn't see it real clearly. Okay, $5,940,401.83. Thank you, Shauna.
Oh no. You should know Scott was here. He was waving his hand too. He's like,
Well, I printed this out on my printer
Mm.
and I'm running out of ink, so it got kind of
What happened to
floppy
me?
there. Sorry about that.
No, this is all good.
So the public knows the expenses and the money that's going out of the city right now. So just to let them know that this is almost a $6 million claims approval. So
Yes.
we need a motion to approve those claims.
I move to approve the claims as stated.
Do we have a second?
I'll,
Jamie second.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
oh, yes, I seconded it. I'm sorry.
Nina, could you call the roll, please?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
Is there any other business to come before the Board of Works today? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
My second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Nina, please call the roll.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
Thank you,
I have
everyone.
one question.
Okay.
Nina?
Yep.
Do we need to sign these dockets?
We
Or how is
don't
that
have to
done
do
right now?
there's been different changes. There's provisions that allow for them to be approved virtually, and then we'll sign them when everyone reconvenes in person.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
Signing off, everyone. Be safe. Stay hunkered
All right,
down.
take care, everybody.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.